Right, let's assume we're live. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Forensics Detailing channel. I'm here with the Walking Dead here, Plague Bearer. It's like, Jesus Christ. We can't open the window, can we? We'll get bad audio. So I'm here with Walking Dead Plague Bearer, who's going to turn me into a zombie with his bloody germs. Just telling me how it's not infectious because the mucus has gone from green to like translucent slime.
I sound like Barry White though, especially in the mornings.
Listen, I'm watching you. If you turn into one of those zombies, mate, I'm going to get the accent and go on your head, Doug, right in the head. Right, let's introduce this video, guys. We'll do a little song. Don't know where we're going, don't know where we're going, riding on the road to nowhere.
Who's Max and who's Paddy?
Sponging for a living, checking out the women, driving on the road to nowhere. Okay, Dan's Timeless Classics.
Woo!
Subject of today's video, Dan, day in the life of a car dealer. What are we up to?
Yeah, so we're doing a typical Danny day. We're going to look at a car, John. Interestingly, of course, it's a Porsche, because that's what I do. But it's not for me. Some people know, some people don't know, but I offer a car inspection and purchase program. No, it's true, I do. So obviously I buy and sell a lot of cars. No, but seriously, I buy and sell a lot of cars, and if you know, it is quite daunting, isn't it? Going and looking at a 20, 30-year-old car. You don't know nothing really mechanical about them.
You know a lot about these cars.
And if you don't know them, it's quite scary.
It is, mate. Actually, you know, if I was buying one and I had my time again, I know them now. And I know I could go and buy one and look, or I could buy one and I'll take the hit on the money or whatever if it's something's bad. But if I didn't, I would get someone that knows about them to eyeball it. Yeah,
you just need someone to go and eyeball it over, because, you know, you can like go to proper garages and things like that and do this. And I know like the AA and the RAC and that do it, but they're not car specific. You know, if you're buying a 911 996, you know, without blowing my own trumpet, you're better off coming to somebody like me, because that's my field. Now, if someone said to me, can you go and look at a 992 for me, Danny? I'd say no, because that probably wouldn't be, you know, I wouldn't be able to give them.
You wouldn't say that, you say how much.
Yeah. But I couldn't give you the expert opinion that I could on a 996 or a 986, because I know these cars inside out. So I know where the faults are. I know where the water leaks are.
You've torn a few of them down, haven't you?
Yeah, I know where the rattles are going to be. Just driving it, I can go, I know what that is. I know what this is. I know what that is. I mean, I did one last year and saved a guy from buying it. It was a 997.
Was it one of yours, was it?
No, it was a 997. It was with I won't mention, it was with a proper dealer, you know, which fully warranted and everything.
A drug dealer.
But I drove that car, and that had a diff grumble at the rear diff. And that would have been a really expensive fix.
And you might not really notice that, or you might hear it and just think, oh, sod it, it drives all right.
Yeah, oh, it's a wheel bearing or whatever, it'd be nothing, you know, but it wasn't, it was the diff.
Yeah, I mean, there's a million other things as well. But I always look at the paintwork and just think virtually every 996 you're going to buy needs a full respray. And I just say to myself, has it had it done? Yes. If it hasn't, it's going to need it, even if it's been well looked after. They're 25 years old, so that original paintwork's not really. It's going to be pretty dead.
Probably
it's not
thinned,
doing anything.
Isn't it?
Yeah, and it's just
UV damage.
Yeah, it's just gone. It's like it's gone, and like the paint underneath is going to be pretty faded. You never know though. Have you ever seen an original one with really good paint? Because I haven't.
Yeah, but you know, they're quite rare. Generally speaking, they've all had paint, haven't they?
Yeah, bits and pieces,
But yeah, I have seen some cars that look or appear to have be fully original paint. But low mileage cars, you know, 40,000 mile, two-owner car. It's been in a garage its entire life. It's never been left to the elements. They only drive it in the summer.
But you either want one that's had paintwork or is completely original. And sometimes that's why it's not too bad to buy a wreck paintwork-wise, because they might all need respraying if you've got good standards.
Yeah.
And then if it has been resprayed, you can tell within about 30 seconds if it's a good job or not, can't you? Just go around the edges, lift up the seals and all that. But again, a lot of people don't know what to look for with a paint job. They look at the car from 10 metres back and think, oh, that's a good paint job, that is.
Yeah, different people got different eyes, John, haven't they? They just don't see things that we see. You're a detailer, like myself. We're into like cleaning tiny little crevices of cars. We're going to find...
Crevices?
Well, little cracks and crevices.
Crevices?
It's an old word, John, old word.
Old English.
You're going to find flaws in any paintwork.
Yeah,
You look at new cars; they're terrible, aren't they?
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
So we would
Not all
certainly
of them,
know that has been painted because we can tell what they're like when they haven't been painted.
Yeah,
It's all
and all the
experience, all
known
experience.
things. Looking at the paperwork, seeing if it's one that's been driven and maintained, or one that's been put in a barn for like 7 years or whatever.
Yeah, and sometimes that's not good for them either. And
Can we say how much you're charging for this, Dan?
I'm charging £300 for this, which isn't bad really, because that's with my travelling expenses.
And
as
we're
well.
going from Bognor up to what? Watford.
No, it's sort of north of Maidenfield, but it's up that way. Yeah,
Not bad, is it?
it's about, in fuel alone, we're probably going to do 60 quid, 50 quid in fuel.
Five
and
or
we're probably,
6 hours. 5 or 6 hours driving in traffic.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I think that's pretty cheap, really.
It's a day's work, and you know, you take your expenses out of it.
You
By the time
do.
we've had a sandwich and a coffee, John, we'll have about 50p left.
Oh, you're paying for the coffee, are you?
Yeah, well, I don't know, am I? John's not just coming for the video.
No,
he's coming for a lift as well.
This is the day in the life of the car dealer. So
Yeah.
one, Dan's got to go up there and do this. So that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
But while you're up there, you've got on the way back, you're going to drop some toys off.
Yeah, I've got some toys in the boot to drop to someone because I'm also a vintage Matchbox dealer. That
Day
not
in the life
everybody
of a
knows.
vintage Matchbox dealer.
Yeah, we won't film that bit.
He's got a 20-year-old vintage Matchbox. He's been storing it up his ass for the last 15 years. Had this hunk of junk up there in Nam.
But yeah, no, the reality is that I do these, generally from 250 to 350, depending how local they are. Obviously, it's just around the corner, you wouldn't charge as much.
Yeah, it's a travel.
But I HPI the cars, I do all the background checks on the specs, so I know everything about this car on paper already. I talk to the owners. I'll even negotiate the price.
I've got a little bit of a good feeling about this car, actually.
Yeah, there's a couple of negatives about it already in my mind.
What's he doing up there?
But I like the spec of the car a lot.
Yeah, I do. I do as well.
Well, I don't like the wheels. I don't.
No, but they're going to sort that
But
out. Is he
yeah,
going to
you
sort
just
that?
change those. You just change them.
It's coming with those wheels. Is
Yes.
It? Okay, fair enough. So you've got factory
but
and things like that.
The potential buyer has immediately got plans to change them immediately.
You factor it in.
So, yeah, he's factored it in, and if the price is right, then
That's what it's all about.
it's factoring in the other work. This is the thing.
Dan also has to come out of his trade head because he would go there and offer this guy about £2,000.
I'm not that bad.
Okay, all right,
But
2.5.
I've got, John's right.
Say it's a 20 grand car, yeah, and Dan's buying it. He cannot buy it for 17, 18 grand because they typically need anywhere from like 2 to 5 grand spending on them. That's not including paint.
Yeah.
So you cannot buy it with retail head on. So what Dan has to do is look at this and say, what's it worth as a retail car? Forget about his trade head and, do the best advice for the client and say, well, you need to sort this. It's going to cost you that much. But these cars retail are probably worth this much. So, then the client can make an informed decision.
You're right, because obviously for this car, there's not going to be a profit margin in it because this gentleman wants this car to own it, he wants to spend the money on it, and he wants to make the car right and make it lovely. So what he wants is me to look at it, give all my 996 advice to say, if that was my car and I was buying it for me, I would do that, and that's going to cost you roughly that.
And then you've got a good car.
And then you've got a good car that, probably potentially is worth that. So therefore, that's kind of how I'm valuing it. Whereas if you're valuing it as a dealer, you do need a margin in it because you could own that car for 6 months as a dealer.
You need a margin in it as profit, don't you?
Yeah, 2 or 3
But you need a margin in it to cover the cost to get it to a point where you can sell it as a dealer.
And you need a little bit of leeway each way because if you take a long time to sell the car, it will depreciate while you're doing it.
Well, less of an issue with these, don't it?
Less of an issue.
But you've also got a warranty here, so if you sell it and don't fix those things, they're going to come back and bite you on the derriere. So everyone gets that. I think though you've got
to really cover yourself. I mean, for example, a £20,000 Porsche, you'd need to be buying around the £14,000 mark because and I know you're going to spend £3,000 on a car like that quite easily. So before you know it, you're going to be up to 15,000, 16,000 standing value.
Yeah.
You've got the VAT difference. You've got taxes to pay on your profits. So it stacks up. And then, like you say, you've got to be fair with the people in the sense that if you go through everything and do it all, and then there's still another problem with something else later, you know, not far down the line, that's something that you've been through, you kind of got to sort of help them out, and that means putting your hand in your pocket.
Yeah, which is all part of the fun, isn't it?
Yeah,
so it's not as easy as you think.
No.
But this is fun. This all works together, and because we're going past Gatwick, on the way back, Dan's also going to drop me off to pick up my.
I love this going past. John's idea of Gatwick Airport, wherever I'm going at the moment. Oh, that's on the way. So, by the way, Gatwick's on the way to Cornwall. Gatwick's on the way to Manchester.
It is.
Gatwick's on the way to Wales as well, isn't it, John? Do you remember? Yeah, wherever I want to go to look at a car, it's like, oh, can we go? Gatwick's on the way.
Worked out
Gatwick's
well,
like here. Cornwall's here. It's on the way.
It's on the way if you go via it. Get that zombie shit away from me.
Zombie lurgies coming out. I should have wore a little mask today, shouldn't I? Like a Darth Vader respirator.
I'm feeling a little bit hoarse. Yeah, so it's all good, guys. Now here's another interesting subject. This is related to this, and it's related to detailers. Do detailers charge too much money? And Dan said something to me that really resonated with me. He was on his back outside underneath his car doing an undercarriage clean on one of his Porsches, and done it all. Got like all the plastic plates off. You jet wash it. You get under there with a brush. You scrub it all out.
Horrible job.
You rinse it all off. You dry it. You protect it. You lano guard it. All that. And then someone will say to you, "Oh, that looks good. I'll bring my car around. How much to do that to mine?" And we were talking about this. You'd say, right, well, that'll be £1,000. And then someone looks at you and they're like, £1,000? I mean, I was thinking more like 100 quid.
Yeah.
This is the thing with detailing. It's not like what it's worth, like to that person. It's what it's worth of your time. Because you can, like, you get to a certain age in life where you can maybe make £3,000 selling a car, you know, whatever you make on a good one, and you've got to do X amount of work. The idea of getting on your back and scrubbing the underneath of a car while it's up on axle stands for a full day, you're not going to do it for 250 quid, because you can make 250 quid a day doing fucking whatever you're doing.
Selling a Matchbox car.
Selling a Matchbox car, you know, whatever you're doing, selling bits and pieces.
It's not a nice job, it's a horrid job, isn't it?
So you factor that in. If you want me to do that, I'll do it properly, but you're going to have to pay me £1,000.
And it's hard work.
It is hard work.
You know, you ache the next day, you scratch yourself, you bang yourself, you bruise yourself, you have all grit in your eye and up your nose and in your ears, and you're filthy. It's just a horrible job.
You're aching. Yeah, you
so there's got to be, you cut all your knuckles. So the job's got to be worth doing, hasn't it? It's almost got to be more than you would earn normally not doing such hard work.
And I think a good detailer would have the same mindset. Well, I could do a paint correction and a coating in one day. I'll wash the car down, prep it all, get it inside, polish it, get the coating on. That'd be 500 quid in my pocket.
Yeah.
I'd rather do that than get underneath the car and get soaking wet, dangerous, wrap knuckles, all of that. No, thank you. If you want me to do that, it's £1,000. If not, go and take it to someone else to do that. And there's very little people doing that sort of work because no one wants to do that.
Would they?
No.
You know, it's just I don't offer it out as a service. I get people ask me all the time.
No,
I think
I'm not surprised.
Sort of
bloody rip off at £1,000.
For friends, I might consider it, and I'd probably do it for you.
I'll bring my Golf round tomorrow then.
No, not your Golf, your Porsche. Only for your nice cars. But yeah, generally speaking, it's not something I would want to do for a living, unless it was something crazy, you know, like £1,000 a job or something like that. Then I'd do that. Do one a week.
That's the world we live in, isn't it? Because like you get a plumber around and like he changes a couple of pipes, waste pipes, you know, push fit waste pipes around because one of them's cracked or something, and then charges you 250 quid, and he's there for half an hour, and you think, my God, what a rip off. But that guy's spent his life getting to the stage where he can run a business where he makes that sort of money, and he's not interested in,
and it's his knowledge,
turning up. He's not interested in turning up and doing something for 10 quid, like whatever it costs him. He wants to make as much money as his trade allows him, and I think we do, all of us reject that idea. We think, it costs X amount, we're getting ripped off. But
I can do that cheaper myself.
Yeah, you do get ripped. You could say you do get ripped off, but we rip people off as well. You know what I mean? You get to a stage in life where you can earn whatever money it is doing what you do. Someone could look at that and say, it's a rip-off. But life is a rip-off. So you're either playing the game and you can afford all this stuff, or you're not.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, you know, at the end of the day, you just got to value your time more, because like you say, you can do something that's easier, not harmful to your body, not breathing in any sort of chemicals and getting bits of crap
rust in your
flying
eyes,
back in your eyes, and dealing with thinners and terps and all stuff like that. For you know, the same sort of money, you could be sat at a desk somewhere with hand moisturiser on, tapping a few keys.
So you could do an extra day's overtime and then pay someone else to do that.
Yeah.
And instead just sit there Googling, surfing the web all day like we all used to do.
Yeah.
I mean, like some people do. Stop coughing.
Those days are gone, I think, John.
Well, I don't know, all these city slickers, mate, sitting there surfing the web all day long, getting paid shitloads of money.
But yeah, back to subject, it makes this quite good value then, really, doesn't it? Me driving all the way across the country, or certainly the other side of London, to look at a car for £300, I think that's
It's not bad,
quite a good
I'll
deal.
tell you what, I wanted to get a taxi to Gatwick to go on holiday, and it was 105 quid.
Yeah,
And it used to be like 70 quid. And I said, why is it 105? Well, petrol's gone up.
Yeah.
It ain't gone up that much.
Yeah,
So-
but it's the inflation of everything, isn't it? Labour, everything.
I refuse to pay that. My family, we've got a little syndicate
I
now.
might put this up to 500 quid now, looking at cars.
Well, you could do.
I think it's still fair. You think I'll probably save them more than that on the car.
I've got a syndicate with my family, and if any of us are going on holiday, like we volunteer to like take us to the airport and back,
the
rather
way
than
to do
pay a taxi 105 quid. So my auntie and uncle were going on a cruise. I said, right, you know, it was like 60 quid or so to go to Southampton. I was like, right, I'll take you, don't worry, just tell me the date, I'll put it in my calendar, I'll
You've got
drive
to take
you.
me to Gatwick.
Yeah, and you take me to Gatwick. And
I just got a quote for Gatwick for a 7-seater for June. How much do you reckon, both ways?
200?
£315.
Well, there you go, yeah, it's a rip-off.
Yeah.
It's more than the flight.
Yeah,
I know
£315.
again, I suppose we're going back to the taxi company have earned the right to charge that. Have they?
Yeah,
Just
but then
need a
they got the wear on the car.
Yeah,
Cars, when they break, they break.
Drive up. It's a 45-minute drive up to Gatwick. Yeah, you've got to pay a fiver now to drop off, I think, or something like that. But 105 quid.
It's getting dear. Yeah, it's £315. That's what, £152 or whatever.
That's a rip-off.
£157 both ways.
So
each way.
my advice is get a syndicate and create a WhatsApp group, and like just all with your families. The best do it. Don't do it with outside of families, because then you'll have one guy that's like got 20 lifts. He's been taxied all around the country, and he's taken nobody anywhere. It's a great idea. This is.
Yeah, I like this. Free taxiing.
You got to do it with your family, like just like help each other out so you don't get ripped off. Things like that is the way to work. Yeah, that's why. But you know, it's slightly different, isn't it? With getting under a car for a whole day, like literally. If you're a taxi driver, you're literally like this for an hour. And
Yeah,
it's
an
100
easy
quid.
job. Well, although it can be stressful with traffic, it's not physical hard, is it?
No, it's not.
It's like, you imagine digging up a road at 2 o'clock in the morning in the pouring rain. That's a hard job.
Exactly, yeah.
You know, and laying under a car.
Don't get me wrong, I mean, it takes its wear and tear, and they don't get all the money as well, but just from a customer's point of view, I think it's just a bit much to pay, that is. But the problem is, you want to get the train, it's expensive as well.
If you
now.
park your car there in the parking
100 quid.
now, it's
Yeah.
more.
Yeah,
I looked,
yeah.
it was £180.
Yeah, I know,
and that was the summer cheap one or something that's
I know.
called.
They get you, mate.
It was 10 nights, it was £180, and you've still got to get the little bus thing, you have to queue up to get your keys, it's still a bit of
Yeah,
ag.
I hate that.
So actually then, when you
Last
work
thing you
out your
wanna do.
fuel on top,
You've been
you start
waiting
to
around
think
in the
300
airport
quid
all
ain't
that
so
time.
bad.
You get back into Gatwick, you get through customs, and then you got to wait for the bloody bus and
Yeah, you've just waited for your bags, you've just
Yeah.
waited to get off the plane, and then you've got to wait again to get in the queue
it's
just
terrible.
to get your key to then go and find your car in lot number
Quite nice.
7258.
I like whenever I travel, if I go on my own, I don't even take luggage or anything like that. It's just
That's because
stressless.
you got a place abroad, didn't you?
Yeah, well, I haven't, but yeah, I could. And you just go into the airport straight through security with your bag, sitting down. Like I'd go find a
Easy
cafe or
life.
something, and be the last bloke to get on the plane. Like
Yeah.
you watch all these people looking around, they want
Rushing.
to jump up, and
I know, I don't get that.
they're looking at the speedy
You've
borders.
got a seat number.
Yeah, it's like just wait, just
Just
let them all
wait,
get
yeah.
on, get as far
my
away as
wife,
you can.
My wife does that. She's like, "Come on, let's go now, And I'm like, just chill.
And if you go on first, you've got to watch every useless
yeah.
unloading and taking
Trying
10
to
minutes to
squeeze
get
their
their
bags
in,
in the top.
and then they sit down, they get back up again because they forgot their newspaper.
Yeah.
You're trying not to get angry as you're sitting there.
Yeah, you're like, I'd sooner sit in that lounge chair, just sitting there looking on your phone.
Wireless
whatever.
headphones, mate. If you go travelling, you've got to get a set of wireless headphones and glasses.
How have we gone from a day in a car dealer to recommendations on wireless headphones for travelling
I
abroad?
don't know, mate. I was just all on my mind. Watch out, you got a learner there. Jesus.
Come on, gal.
God.
Get in there. That's it, that pedal on the right. Give it a squeeze. And you're up.
Yeah.
This is all a part of day in the life of a car dealer, I suppose, because you're travelling around, aren't you?
If you have the wireless headphones on, you don't have to listen to all the mundane conversations as
What
well.
are you saying then? You can have the wireless headphones if you're coming with me.
Mate, if you haven't got the wireless headphones, you're sitting there listening to some family talking about their whole entire day and everything. Someone walks past, he's wearing those trainers.
Oh,
And
it's not good. She won't get that bag in there.
No, she won't.
Oh, she needs to find another locker. That won't fit. You watch the air stewardess in a minute. Come and tell her right off.
Yeah, they all like that. The old brain dumpers, I call them. Whatever's going on through their brain, it comes out through their mouth. And you've got to listen. You've got to listen to it. So you just put the old shades on, real heavy, dark shades. You can barely see anything, and the wireless headphones, and just listen to music down here. Yeah.
Look at that, another EV car. They all look the bloody same.
Is that EV, is it?
Yeah, of course
it is. Go on, nail it.
Nail it in the Volvo.
Actually, you've got to be careful here. You get old Bill on this bit.
They just look the same, these EV cars, don't they?
That looks all right, though, doesn't it?
You can't tell what it is, though. I know we can because we can read the badge, but if
Looks
you
a
didn't
bit
have that
jaggy.
badge, it could be Jag.
Yeah.
Could it be a Kia?
Yeah.
Could be a Kia, couldn't it? Or a Hyundai?
I've lost interest. Let's talk about another subject, modern cars.
Oh.
I've lost interest completely.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what the brand or the
Yeah.
mark. If it's a new car, it's just invisible to me. It's just
Yeah.
like boring, overpriced.
Well, you just wouldn't
cheap.
know what it is, would you?
Yeah.
I mean, Porsche's still a little bit unique, but they're starting to really
I like the-
blend into everybody else now.
The new Caymans were good because they stuck to that classic design.
Yes.
The new 992's all right, you know. I
getting
did really
bigger-
like it at one
bigger
point.
though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's too much money and it's big and it's
And now
too
they're going to
fast.
go all these hybrid, and in
Yeah,
a minute
not
there'll be
interested. Not interested.
EV Cayman, EV Buxters.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, what is that all about?
All
it's
the
a
new-
sports car, man.
I love my Mercs, BMWs and Audis, those German makes. And like all the new cars they're bringing out, I'm not interested. I don't even know what they're bringing out. They just all look awful to me. And
I just think they look the same. I just honestly think that
they do, don't they?
you'd struggle to tell the difference between them.
Yeah.
You know, you can look at one car 1 minute and think, oh right, that's a Jag or whatever, that's a Mercedes, and then it goes past you and you see the badge on the back and it's a Renault or something, and you're like, no.
They're so
That's
cheap
the same
as well,
chassis.
though.
I've seen it before somewhere else with a Mercedes badge.
The brands have mastered the art of reducing costs, sharing
Yes.
parts, and producing platforms for cars and getting the build cost down.
Yeah,
And you're just
that's
buying
exactly
this
what they are.
terrible design.
And the retail prices have gone up and up and up and up.
Yeah, that's pointless.
Their
isn't
profit
it?
margins must be massive. I wouldn't be surprised that in like the 70s and 80s, car manufacturers were probably netting like 10 or 15%. Then in like the noughties, they pushed it to 20%. I bet now they're netting 50% on all these cars, maybe more.
Yeah.
That's why they're so rich, these companies. I mean, they're worth billions and trillions. It's not just the volume, it's the profits they're making
Margins,
now.
yeah, and the parts
Because
margins.
they're
as well.
building a Mercedes E-Class for like $8,000 a unit, and they're like 68 grand retail. They can afford to give 5 to a movie company for a James Bond movie just to blow them all up.
Yeah.
And they don't care because they're making them so cheap. They can fill fields full of them, brand new, lease them all to everyone, and at the end of it, it doesn't matter if that field floods, if you've trashed it, they don't care because they can auction them and get more than their value back in salvage alone. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy world.
Yeah, well, it's all changing though, isn't it? Because we're going over to this electric. I did a video on this electric the other day. I'm not interested in electric cars. Like, you know, I'm just not interested in them because of the performance. Like, you know, take what
Cost
car are we driving here?
So this is a Volvo V70 diesel.
How old is it?
23 years old.
If this was an electric car, the battery cells would be dead, wouldn't they?
Be dead.
So how long, you reckon, between 5 to 7 years before your battery performance has gone to the point where you'd need to replace the batteries if you're putting loads?
This car's probably not even halfway through its life. This car will just keep going forever and ever.
And that's why no one's going to buy a second-hand electric car that's 5 years old, because they'll be due a huge cost to replace the battery. So the depreciation on electric cars is always going to be huge.
Especially 10 years old and things like that. You imagine when they're 10 years old.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, you might be able to get some good cars, mightn't you, as a second-hand electric that no one wants.
And then switch them over and put an engine in it.
The whole electric industry, for me, anyway, even not really being interested in the performance of the electric and all that thing, I don't really know. I'm not an expert on it. Some of you tell me in the comments it's amazing and you love it. Great. But it's just that thing that we're being pushed to it.
It's forced, yeah.
Yeah, and then wherever we're pushed as a herd, we're being herded up like the old tigers, the old lions are herding us.
It's a scam.
You know it's a scam from the government.
It's change, forced change.
Yeah.
Forced change equals money.
The people that bought the electric cars are like, you're being cynical, John. I'm not being cynical.
It's true.
I've been on this planet for 47 years and I know what they're up to. Like, it's not a conspiracy theory.
We've seen it before.
It's just consumerism and them manipulating the consumer markets.
Forcing you to buy something new because they don't want you keeping something old because it's lasting too long.
Because it kills the consumer market.
It doesn't work for them.
Yeah, like this car, they don't want you driving around. They pay you to scrap it.
Yeah.
Like, that just tells you all you know. So the best thing you could do is just drive this thing into the ground.
Yeah, yeah.
And this was built to last, this car. This will do 500,000 miles.
Yeah, and the rest is just that generation, isn't it? 90s, early noughties, where the manufacturers were showing off and they were trying to build stuff.
And
it's not just cars, John. Dishwashers, microwaves, washing machines, tumble dryers, the list goes on. You get a Bosch dishwasher.
They don't drive so good though,
no. You get a Bosch dishwasher from 1980s or 90s.
I thought this was a Bosch dishwasher.
From round your nan's house. It might be yellow and the buttons are all faded off, but the thing's still working.
I've got one of those. You can have it if you want it.
40 years or something. You buy one now, they're 299 quid. They immediately try and sell you the upgraded warranty. And the upgraded warranty is because we know it's going to break in 18 months. And what we're going to do in 18 months is we're going to turn up to your house with John's one that broke 18 months ago with a new bearing in it because we put a plastic bearing in it which is counting down like a timer to break on your one, and then it's just a cycle and we just keep cycling. And what are we cycling?
Cheap, isn't it?
We're cycling money, and all the time. And do you know who likes that? The government. Why? Because every time there's VAT involved.
It's just consumerism, and they drive consumerism. And the car market is one of the biggest consumer markets with massive spending.
It's fashion.
And we love our cars.
It's become a fashion accessory, hasn't it?
It has, but that degradation of the battery over the charge cycles is the thing that kills it.
I mean, if I bought, I can just about see the use of an electric car for my wife, say.
What's the price?
So my wife does 2 miles to work every morning and 2 miles back. She don't need a diesel, right?
No.
So I could justify an electric car for her, especially if work said to her, "Oh, we can plug in and charge up for free at work." Be a no-brainer. But I still wouldn't buy one. I'd just rent it. I'd go and lease it. I'd have it brand new, fully warranted on a 299, 399 rental charge, and I'd offset that charge of what I lose in depreciation on a car. Although being a car dealer, I can't do that because it's against my religion.
Why would you? Why wouldn't you just go and get a little Volkswagen Polo?
I don't do no.
1 litre petrol Polo for like £1,000.
Yep.
And you know, it's like £1,000.
Do the same job.
There's nothing wrong with it. Get a good one, you know. It's just
because
ridiculous.
my wife won't drive a 20-year-old Polo 1 litre because that's embarrassing.
That's what it's all. That's what it is consumer market, and all these new electric cars. It's all part of the consumer market. If they can make you buy them, if we cared about the environment, we would build cars to last, and we'd maintain them and run them. What's wrong with a 20-year-old Polo? You know, there's nothing wrong with it. Maintain the underneath of it.
That's upcycling. Upcycling is the true recycling.
Yeah.
Because you're using something over and over rather than replacing it. As soon as you replace something,
scrap though, like 100,000 miles on the clock, and it's like the engine's good for another.
So its carbon footprint is terrible. It doesn't matter about what's coming out the exhaust. The manufacturing carbon that it creates, the damage to the planet to make something new and then replace it in 10 years and 10 years and 10 years. That's the killer. If you really want to be green, you should all be driving 1930s cars like in Cuba and 1950s cars and getting
They've got the embargo, they can't get the tech in it.
Get the alternator, take it apart and cleaning it and servicing it, put it back together and reuse it.
Because of that, there's a great market in it fuels the economy with the garages, getting manufacturing parts to keep these cars going, and they do.
But it's not the same level of economy as what you can with new cars.
I tell you, good business to get into now would be salvage yards, wouldn't it? Because all these cars are just getting scrapped all the time, and like, you know, there's value in salvaging them because people are just giving them away through laziness. The government will give you money for them, get rid of them. Oh, scrapyard, I'll give you 100 quid for them. But you're buying a car that's got like 5 grand's worth of parts, you know. There's a good margin in that, and there'll be more with those electric cars. Jesus.
I think it's the materials as well. There's a lot of materials on these cars.
The problem with the electric cars is there won't be the demand for the parts because those
will
life
be
cycles,
salvaging them.
Yeah, it'd be
throwing
like
them away,
no one will like break apart and go on eBay looking for a part for electric. It would just be, oh, I've broken the door handle. I'll go and buy another car.
No, they will. Yeah, they'll just throw the car away, won't they? So they won't.
It's only got a year left for the batteries. The batteries are at 60% dead already. I'll get rid of it.
I think that's a good point. I think the battery is going to be the be-all and end-all of that car. I'm guessing where their trick is going to be is the new and improved uprated batteries. There's going to be a battery upgrade coming. When your car's 10 years old, not only does it need a new battery, but now we have the new Busiest batteries that last. I know. I've just thinking 10 years ahead, John.
Unobtainium.
Unobtainium
or dilithium.
Battery.
Runs off dilithium.
Yeah. Or this new battery, you just put water in it or whatever.
It's true. And
there'll be another scam.
Here's the interesting thing though. So when you talk about this stuff, the guys that have bought and invested in electric cars, not all of them, some of them go nuts because they disagree, because they've spent the money and they don't agree.
Because they've been done.
Maybe. And some of them are like, yeah, I'm a bit unsure about all this.
But I've got one anyway.
I'm giving it a go and I'm liking it at the moment and all that. But yeah, I do appreciate I might lose a bit of money on this and all that. And they've got a very realistic, down-to-earth approach. Other people, like, they just go nuts. Here's the difference. You can say anything you like against diesel and petrol cars, and I don't care. You can say anything, I don't care. You could say it's dirty, yeah, all right, it's dirty, whatever.
The proof is in the pudding, isn't it? I mean,
well, the point is,
they just go on and on.
The point is, I don't care what people think about petrol and diesel. Even though that's my preference, you know, it's just petrol. But the people with electric seem very upset if you don't buy into it, and I don't know why. And that tells me that part of them knows that some of it is a big consumerism.
I don't know. I think they're the same sort of people that. They think that we walk around with tin hats on all day and we think everything is a conspiracy theory, and it's like, think about it. It is. Why would them up there, the hierarchy, care about you down there that much?
I don't know about conspiracy theory, but it's, like I said, it's a massive consumer market that's up at a level that we don't understand.
If there's money involved and someone can make a lot of money out of it, then everything else goes out the window.
Yeah, it does.
The planet goes out the window.
And the level of
people go out the window.
of influence between the big players and the political parties, and that there's so much money involved.
Yeah, it's all money. Money makes the world go round, John. Nothing else. Money makes the world go round.
Can't fix the potholes, though, can they?
No, because that doesn't pay either, does it? You bodge the pothole and then you get to come back a year later and fix it again and get paid twice for it.
Yeah.
And then when you think, well, that's not fair, why don't the government turn around and say, well, we're not paying you, you didn't do a good job? Because the companies that do the potholes and get the contracts are owned by the billionaire that funds the government's political party. It's all corrupt. It's all corrupt. It's all money. And everybody just allows it.
Well, it's like I was saying about that PPE thing that when COVID was in, I was listening to the radio and they were saying
people that believe in that so much.
There was a shortage of PPE, and there were companies phoning in saying, "I've got 12 pallets of PPE equipment you can have." But I phoned the government helpline and they're ignoring me, and they say, "Oh, we'll call you back," and they don't. Yeah. It's because they realise that they can make money out of that PPE, and they know who's supplying the PPE, and it's friends of her and that. She'll be upset if I take 12 pallets free because we're paying her however.
Yeah, and
it's
I'll
all
tell
like
you
that.
another thing. Not only that, we get to tell the taxpayer that we've had to put 100 million, we've bought 100 million quid's worth of PPE from China for 100 million that cost $1 million to make. 99 million was profit, and guess what? Somewhere down the line, 30 million of that comes back round into their pocket.
What happened to it? What's
It's
the name?
all a scam. Everything's a scam. It's all about money.
Control, yeah.
You know, listen, if the government say they're spending 100 million on this road, they're not. They're spending $1 million. The other 99 is wormed off into all their offshore bank accounts. Find me a poor ex-president or prime minister.
Yeah, well, yeah. I remember when about 10, 15 years ago when the government, it was a Labour government, but it wouldn't have mattered who, they wanted to get rid of the paper system in the NHS and go to computers.
Yeah.
They attempted to do it and failed. Do you know how much money they have spent to attempt to go to a paperless computer system?
Oh, go on, don't.
17 billion.
What?
So they failed and gave up, and that money's gone.
Yeah,
and it's all.
And did it really all go on computer work, or did it all go to their cousins and aunties and uncles, brothers?
Say you wanted this system, this computerised system in the UK that took all this paper records and of people's health and whatever, put it on a computer. The system to develop that system would cost a few £1 million. You know, I'm from that background. The software side of it cost a few £1 million. The hardware side of it would cost a few £1 million. $1 billion is 1,000 million, isn't it?
Yeah, 1,000 million.
So that's 17,000 million. And as soon as someone says that to you, you know there's a level of corruption going on with that money that you can't even imagine.
How much of it gets milked off?
Yeah, 17 billion. 17,000 million, and at the end of it, you spend that money. It's like, oh, right, great. Where's our new system? No, it's not working.
It's not working. We're not doing that now. Well, okay, can we get some of that money back? Oh no, it's all gone. It's all gone. Yeah, it's all gone on bloody cheese and wine parties and
just gone.
And 500-foot Sunseeker yachts off the east coast of. South coast of France that the Conservative Party spent their weekends sunning themselves.
And if you did enough
for
digging,
a meeting,
if you were really interested and savvy, you'd go and dig and say, who did they? Where did this money go? Where did this 17 billion go? And look at the companies that they employed to write the software and like develop the platform.
And who owns those companies?
They would have been
cousins and brothers.
You know, it'd be Dantec got paid $3 million for this, $3 billion even. And oh, it's him. Who's
these little things?
Well,
and you
like
think, how much of it went to anybody that needed it?
It was like the Major Tom guy as well, wasn't it? We were all giving money because in the middle of this COVID, this lovely old man was just like, well, you know what? I'm going to go out and walk and raise money, and everyone's like, good on you. The rest of it's
all come out now,
negativity.
Yeah.
And then the money went on a. Did it go on a house?
She had an extension, a jacuzzi, a patio, and it was all for him apparently.
Has it been knocked down or something?
I don't know, but he lived in a home. But it was all, oh no, it's for him when he comes over because it's got disabled facilities and things like that. But it was all from the pot that he raised over that 2 million or 20 million, whatever he raised, which was our money we gave. And yeah, she had a conservatory out of it, a jacuzzi, and God knows whatever else.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. A new car, probably, no doubt, to run him around in when he probably never even sat in it. Allegedly. But yeah, you know, listen, money makes the world go round.
Disclaimer: everything in this video is our opinion of life.
Yes,
only an opinion, not a fact.
It's all opinion. It's all opinion. It's all hearsay and thearsay. But you do get to a point where this hearsay and hearsay gets in your mind, and you look at it and you start to do a bit of digging yourself. And it's actually all out there when you really look for it. It's not a conspiracy theory.
It's nothing.
There's a money trail, a monetary trail in every war, every political movement, every, like John says, every change, every herding up the people. There's a money trail, and if there's a money trail, there's your answer. Don't mean you can do anything about it though.
Yeah.
Fight it. Drive a Volvo V70 diesel for the rest of your life.
Do the opposite. It's what I said in that video. Whatever you're being told to do the opposite of it. And people are like, you're a conspiracy theorist. Okay, I'm a conspiracy.
I'll be a conspiracy theorist and I'm happy with that.
Just do the opposite and you'll be all right. Get an old car, drive it, maintain it, Like, it only has to cost £1,000. That's much better for the environment, for the planet, for your wallet. It's nicer to drive. You know, if you're worried about the environment, get like a Blue Motion Polo or Golf.
If you're worried about the environment, you know, there's things you can really do. You know, don't be so wasteful. Don't buy new things every 5 minutes.
Yeah,
don't get the latest bloody telephone. You know, get an old Nokia and still run that. If you're really worried about the environment, you know, there's things you can do that would help. Actually make a change. Go and plant a tree in your garden.
Volunteer. You see these people you're driving around, we were talking about last time, we're driving around, there's people out picking up rubbish on the side of the road.
That's good for the environment.
Go and do that.
Yeah, wildlife care. Look after the wildlife. You know, do a little hedgehog sanctuary in your garden. That's good for the environment.
That's too much work for most people,
All right,
isn't it?
plant some flowers in your garden and let the bees come down and have a little bit of fun with them. You know, that's good for the environment.
That's what my missus does. Just plants. Never maintains. Just plants.
Yeah.
Don't get me started on that.
That's a whole nother video.
It's a whole nother
But you know, there are things you can do for the environment that don't cost you money, that actually can make a difference. You know,
don't think people would do that.
Don't waste water, don't waste things, don't
I have
do
the ultimate
things,
respect when I see people out picking up rubbish. There's a guy in
think that's a
Bognor
big
around
thing,
our area, and you see him out there with one of those sticks in the bag picking up rubbish.
That's not just good for the environment, that's good for the community. It's good for your mental mindset, everybody's mental. There's nothing worse than driving through a village. We're driving through Selborne now. Really pretty village. You see any rubbish around, John? I can't see none.
No.
And that's because here, if someone threw a Coke can out that window of their car, which is disgusting, right? If they did do that, someone here would pick it up. I know they shouldn't have to, but someone would pick it up.
They do that. Where's the road? People litter.
Look at it. It's beautiful. This is a village you'd want to live in. This is a place you'd want to grow up in. Bring your kids up in. It's lovely.
I was driving behind some van the other day, like
they throw all McDonald's out and all that.
Chips and like chip paper just like flying out the window. You think, oh mate.
Food is a little bit on the fence about throwing food out the window. Like
I'll
throw an apple core or banana skin out the window, but you throw it in the bushes.
Well, you Mario Kart.
Yeah, but the reason why, because that's good for the planet. You throw an apple core into the bushes or a banana skin into the that is good for the environment.
But let's just be honest.
You're fertilise and feed.
It is, yeah. An apple core's fine.
Yeah.
The banana skin, you be careful. Yeah. It makes the cars spin like Mario Kart.
Look at that. There's not one bit of litter in that whole village.
No.
So yeah, you know, that's a good deed. How have we got on to litter now?
I don't know.
We have gone from like.
Where are we? Where
are we? What's next?
Where are we?
We're just wasting time now, John.
I think we better wrap this one up.
Yeah, I think we wrap this up. Otherwise, we're going to be talking
about. I've run out of this space. My phone's actually getting hot. It's warm.
There's smoke coming off it. We're going to be talking about fashion and thongs or
steady on, Dan. Steady on.
Mankinis.
Steady on.
What are you wearing this summer, John?
Oh, Borat there.
Right, wrap it up.
Okay, guys, over and out. Don't forget to subscribe at Dan Timeless Classics as well, YouTube, Instagram, and that's it, isn't it?
250 quid to 500 quid. I'll go and view a car for you.
Yes, available
Dan's
for weddings,
Timeless
funerals,
Classics.
bar mitzvahs and car assessments.
I don't do bar mitzvahs.
Oh, don't you? He will do for the right money.
Yeah.
Over and out.